Come gather round the campfire and hear our ghostly tales of chilling terrors, darkest woes, and anything that goes bump in the night. So cuddle up with your best friend or dare it alone. The darkness is closing in and spirits are calling your name. This is Fireside Phantoms.
So you and I, before we hit the record button, we're just talking about how excited we are about all the alien stuff that's happening right now.
That's right.
It is so hot. So hot.
So on fire.
So on fire. I can warm myself by the flames of the intensity of the news coming out. It's so exciting.
I did say there would be shock and awe
There
and
is.
headline news.
There's shock and
this
awe.
month. Yes.
Yeah. I cannot get enough. I cannot tear my eyes away from my computer screen. I'm just like, oh my God, it's happening.
It is. So let's table maybe our regular episode for Tarot Talk and Astro updates and get through some of the highlights, our special alien
edition.
And then if we have some time, we'll go into the astrology updates for
the ones that are most time sensitive.
The one that are most time sensitive.
That's
because I don't want to miss that for the upcoming weeks. So.
I agree. And then this all started, I think, last week is when the David Grush interview hit Newsmax, I believe. He told Newsmax in a sit-down interview that so for those of you who haven't been following this, he is a former intelligence official. I don't remember all of his credentials, but he's very high up.
Mm-hmm.
And he was part of the UAP task force that was investigating UFOs and stuff like that.
For at least 6 months.
For a while, yeah. I don't know. 6 months is all he was on there?
I don't know. It's hard to say what I remember from that, but I think one of his skeptics or a criticism is that he wasn't involved deep enough or long enough to really have a full understanding of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if that's just naysayers.
Yeah. Well,
I think he definitely has access to highly classified information.
That's what it sounds like, that everyone is kind of coming up and going, yeah, David Grush is totally a credible person. Believable, high enough up that he would know this stuff. And he sat down with some reporter from Newsmax and said, oh, yeah, we have UFOs. Real non-human spacecraft that have either crash landed or we've captured some other way, or they've come into our hands some other way, which means I think that they have gotten them from other countries or something in trades. But anyway, that's my speculation. He did not say that. That's my speculation. But he basically said we have a number of them. We have been back engineering them. I've had multiple people in the government tell me what's going on. And he's basically coming out as a whistleblower saying that this is a true story and that Congress has been kept in the dark, just like all these other people have said. There's a shadow government that's running the show in regards to aliens.
And I thought it was remarkable. He really came out. I mean, so many people are afraid to say what it is. They just say it's an unidentified object.
Right.
He says, no, it is of non-human origin.
Mm-hmm. And he even indicated, because the reporter said to him, hey, have you seen any alien bodies? He goes, well, yeah, sometimes there's pilots in these crafts. And everyone's like, what?
One of the strangest things I've ever heard is a story, and I don't know if he's the one that related it or Dr. Stevengreer, but of them actually going into one of these downed aircrafts and the dimensions were completely different. Like what you'd expect to be a very small little area with little people in it or little aliens.
Yes.
Turns out to be the size of a football field.
I read that
inside.
Too. I read that too.
So they have the ability to compress space.
They fuck with
matter,
with time and perception
and dimension.
And so
that
you
is
can't really
so
tell.
bizarre.
It's so mind blowing to wrap your head around that.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at something the size of this room, and then you step into it, and it's bigger than you. It's like, whoa, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it reminds me of like a spooky story, like of the cabin in the woods that we heard on that one podcast. Tanis I think it was Tanis.
Yeah.
And it's a Northwest podcast if you guys are
It's
interested.
good.
But they
Yeah.
have some really creepy stories. They did the black tapes also.
The black tapes and Tanis
which
were both
we
good.
love.
Yeah.
They also did rabbits, which I
yeah.
kind of got into for a little bit and
Yeah.
then just
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
didn't finish. But
Yeah.
so they had this cabin in the woods story where
Yeah.
you go in like Baba Vanga's little
Right. I
spooky
forgot
cabin.
about that. Yeah.
He goes in there and you can get lost in there forever because it just goes on and on and you can't remember the dimensions. It reminded me just like that.
Isn't that interesting? Well, the other pop culture reference I'm going to make is the X-Files.
Oh, yes.
X-Files is all true.
I think they were in on it, kind of in the same way that The Simpsons always can predict the future.
Yeah.
I think the X-Files had access to this top level
information. And as we go further into the story, I'll explain how that connects to the X-Files. But I loved the X-Files when it was out in the 90s, and I was so addicted to it. And now I'm like seeing what's coming out in the news. I'm like, holy shit. They weren't far off base, if not directly on target with what they were spouting on that show. I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I know. Unbelievable. I'm watching another X-Files episode. No, wait, this is real news.
This is real news. So we have David Grush come out, and everyone's a Twitter about that.
Right.
The next thing I see, and this is before I want you to talk about the Nevada story.
Okay.
But the next thing we see or I saw, was Michael Schellenberger.
Right.
Whom, for those of you who don't know who Michael Schellenberger is, he is an author, a book author, and he was one of the reporters who investigated the Twitter files. And he comes out just a day or two after the David Grush interview and says, yes, I also have interviewed multiple people in the government about this topic and it's backing up what Grush is saying, that this is true. I believe he wrote an article, but I don't know where it is and I can't seem to find it. But he went on a bunch of podcasts basically saying, yeah. And all of my sources that I've talked to do not want to come forward because it's just too dangerous. And I really like Michael Schellenberger. I think he's a trustworthy source. And I've seen him on a lot of podcasts. He's a pretty well-known speaker on a lot of different subjects. But it was really fascinating that he came out and was giving interviews talking about how he was on the Hill. He was on a couple different places. Anyway, he basically came out and said, they back up the claim that the UFOs are in our possession. They're not from Earth, and that they have seen alien bodies and all of that. And then the next thing that happens is the Nevada story, which I think you know a lot about, Carol.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, who was it that talked about? There's been so much news lately on these aliens and these new whistleblowers that are, talking about everything. And then Dr. Stephen Greer had his regular expo, right?
He had a conference this last weekend, but he had the press event on Monday.
Monday. Yes. And in one of these many speakers or topics.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Nevada story.
I am.
Oh, okay. I'm
getting to that.
Okay.
But in one of them, it was saying that some of these men that they're finding, that had come into contact with the wreckage came down with a terrible sickness. It was like our bodies were not able to fight whatever biological thing that they bring with them to our planet.
Yeah.
And some people say, no, that's radiation sickness, which makes sense.
Yes.
But others are saying, no, it was some sort of coating that these alien...
A plasma coating.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So you heard about that too.
And it froze them. They were frozen in, it was a state.
It caused them to be
in a solid state.
That also.
I think, but was it solid state? They said it was in a static state or something like that, where they couldn't move and they're just frozen. That's crazy.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so this is kind of impromptu for us, but we just had to talk about it today. So sorry if we don't have all of the facts correct on this, but we're going to find some articles and links. But I'm sure you guys have heard tidbits already. I mean, it's everywhere. And I think the timing is very strange. Why now? And that might be because of this now. They can't keep it private anymore because there's just so much activity going on.
There's been enough chipping away at this that I think it's starting to teeter the other direction now, and that needs to happen for a lot of reasons.
And there's just so much more people being aware and looking up in the sky and sighting it with their phones and everything.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our most amazing story. On May 1st in Las Vegas, Nevada, a big aircraft alien came crashing down. There was a big light in the sky and crashed into a Las Vegas family's backyard. And they were just out in their front yard working on a truck at the time. But then when they heard the noise, and they said it felt like a shockwave happened afterwards that kind of like really kind of threw them down. They went in their backyard to investigate. And upon investigating, the son called 911. And it's a pretty remarkable call. He said, I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually real. There are creatures in my backyard. They're between 8 to 10 feet tall. They're 100% not human.
Right.
So they were kind of like, But then the police officers confirmed that they did see something weird happen in the sky in that area.
Yeah, when they were there talking to the family, I think.
And they decided to actually consider it legit and went and investigated. And you can see like they recorded kind of the police talking with the family. And one of the police officers was like, I am like really nervous about checking this out, actually.
Yeah, I would be.
Because he was just like, I've seen the crash.
Is not my job description to go check out the aliens in your yard.
Yeah. At least 21 people across California, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah reported seeing the glowing green light right before the crash happened.
Wow. Well, did you see the Ring camera footage?
Yes.
And that was compelling. So they do come out. There's one of the local news channels, I believe, aired this Ring footage of one of the neighbors, and the camera's recording it, and you see a bright light, and all of a sudden you hear a big boom. So it backs up what this family is saying, that there was some kind of a crash. However, now here's the flip side of the story.
Okay.
There was no wreckage found. There was no evidence of wreckage found. There was a perfect circle where they said that it landed, which would not have created that sound, I wouldn't think. And they took no pictures or video of the aliens. And this kid he's got an alien YouTube channel, which really makes me go, wait a minute, what?
All right. So those are some good points.
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying when I heard about the YouTube channel, I'm like, oh man, is this a publicity stunt?
Yeah. And here's the thing too. He said that the reason why he feels that maybe the aircraft was hidden because when he went in the backyard, it was all blurry.
Right.
It was like he couldn't see very clearly.
Because it was distorting his perception.
Yeah. And I've heard of that happening for people.
Yeah.
But it is coincidental that he is starting. Do you know if he started it before his sighting or after?
The channel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just heard them talking about it on another show. And I was like, oh man. I actually didn't even investigate it myself because I don't think I know his name. But when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's kind of a little bit of a, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. No, I'm not saying they're lying. Yeah.
And the Metro Police took it very seriously. I mean, the officers who responded said that, they found them to be sober and credible. And they searched the backyard even.
Yeah. And you see on the cop's body cam, you see some blue object fly off in the distance. Could they have done that? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. They are still taking it very seriously. They found something, Holly, because that entire house is now under quarantine.
I know
it's got a big tent over it.
Hero journalist George Knapp.
Yes.
They reached out. They were going to do an interview with him. And he said every time I showed up to do the interview, they did not answer their door.
No, they're not.
Because they're not there.
Then they're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to. Or they're not even there because they've been taken by the Men in Black.
No, they haven't. No, but they're probably not allowed to until the investigation's complete.
He did make that TikTok video, though. He was on TikTok. So it's hard to say. I don't know. This whole thing is shrouded in mystery. Well, like he'll go on TikTok, he'll talk to the local news, blah, 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 but then he disappears, which makes sense because maybe the government was not aware of it until it hit the news. Maybe that's why.
It's just so hard to know.
I don't know either. It's crazy. I want to talk a little bit more. So we had that incident with that family, and that was, you said, end of April, beginning of May.
Yeah.
So then David Grush comes out, Michael Schellenberger comes out, then Stephen Greer had a disclosure conference last weekend, and on Monday he had a national press event, which was like 3 hours. He brought up 6 different speakers. I watched the whole thing in awe, and some of their stories were incredible. He had a lot of military people who'd been exposed to this stuff and got up and talked about their stories and how they were treated by the government afterwards. And a lot of these people, I'm kind of surprised, are alive. But Stephen Greer made it very clear that a lot of people have been murdered over this information. And one guy said he was just 13 when he went with his father, who was an engineer, to like a Lockheed Skunk Work area. They saw this ship that was like I think a cube or a sphere, and it was just floating. There was nothing holding it up, and they weren't supposed to see it. And then after that happened, his father lost his job and became homeless. And he got injured by somebody who knew him as a kid that was friends with his father or something. Like,
yeah,
the whole thing is really bizarre. In this press conference, again, so he had this one guy talk about that, what happened with his dad. Then he had another guy who was a military guy who was even abducted.
Yeah.
And he said that his wife and him were driving back from a movie, and this craft was in front of them. But again, Greer makes it very clear that we have back engineered the technology. We have the ability to do these things. He doesn't believe it's the aliens that are doing these abductions. He believes it's our government.
No, and Grush says that he believes it's kind of like going back to your Majestic 12
yes.
Theory is that this got into the wrong hands, this technology, and they are using it now to control the world.
Yeah.
And that's why it's kind of a battle between governments, because some of these crashes have landed in other areas of the world, not just us. And it's a race. It's been a Cold War of reversing this technology among the countries who have it.
I think about it like the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yes.
And whoever holds the ring gets corrupted by its power.
Yes.
And if you think about it, and this is something that Steve Greer brought up in the press conference, the reporters were asking questions about this and how do we bring these people to justice type of thing. And he was like, look, when you have some group of people that has technology that could destroy everyone else, you can't just walk in and arrest these people. They will kill you. They've got all the power. They've got all the cards.
Yeah, supposedly we've been making deals with aliens.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of deals they are. But like some of them have purposely helped with the technology.
The belief now is that we reverse engineered the technology to the point where we can be destructive to other planets. So not just our planet. So that's one of the things that came up during that press conference. And so there's a lot of fear about that. And that if they were to turn this technology on us, our only chance would probably be if the aliens intervened, because they don't want our planet to blow up. And he goes, all of the aliens, and there's many different species, he said, that he knows about, none of them are hostile towards us.
Right.
They are super evolved, intellectually, emotionally, morally. They're all way more evolved than we are. In fact, in the Lost Century film that I watched, which I'll talk about in a minute, I believe it was in that, he said that some of them are our descendants, like 500,000 years into the future.
That we're our future selves coming back in time.
And saying, you guys need to knock this off.
Yeah, I like that theory. I don't know if you saw Elon Musk being interviewed by Joe Rogan regarding aliens. And he said, of course, he thinks that because he, spends a lot of time, studying space and physics and all that he would know. But he also said, there's 2 theories. One is aliens are so advanced that they would look at us like ants.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Ants with a nuclear bomb.
Ants with and they wouldn't treat us the way we would expect to be treated. They would treat us like we're stupid idiots and we need masters to control us. Because
that's bullshit. Because they're morally evolved. They're more coming from a loving place. I don't believe that.
I think we are coming from a loving place when we take care of pets, but we don't see them as our equal. And I don't think they would either.
I don't think they should see us as our equal.
And the other thing is, I think he also said, you read a lot about this in sci-fi stories, is that if a civilization ever got to that advanced level, they almost always would also annihilate themselves because how you discover technology is through trial and error.
Sure.
And in the trial of discovering it, you end up blowing yourself up.
Well, maybe they did a couple times. That whole thing is really interesting and compelling.
Yeah.
When I watched, so there's lots of stories that he brings up. All these military guys are talking about what they've experienced. Now, I watched the Lost Century film last night. That was interesting too, because in my episode I did on Stephen Greer and what he has to say, he does talk a lot in Lost Century about how many people have either been murdered or they've developed technology, engineers who developed technology like your car running on water or using gravity as a power tool. Like they figured out how to use gravity to fuel things. 0-point energy systems where you don't need any energy going into a battery. It just automatically puts it out because of the way it tunes to the frequency of the earth.
Some of Tesla's work.
Yes, absolutely.
That never got developed.
Tesla's stuff. There are people in our day and age and before us even that were smart enough to figure that out as well. They are like, oh shit, I'm the first and only to do this.
And they get killed.
Yeah. Not knowing there's other people. So they put in for a patent, and either the patent gets bought by another company and shelved. It gets destroyed in the courts. They get taken out or murdered. Their stuff confiscated after they die.
Right.
There's a bunch of stuff that have happened to people who've developed this technology that the government has come and just simply gotten rid of it.
Well, you brought up a really good point. Why then is Tesla allowed to have an
I don't
electric
know.
car?
And maybe it's because he's still using electricity, because the these other technologies I think wouldn't even need necessarily to use that. I'm not entirely sure. But I've wondered why Tesla has had this advantage, because Carol, the other thing I learned in this movie was that the military industrial complex is our defense department with the industry. That means oil and gas, big pharma, and a couple other major industries that run the world. And if you think about this technology comes out, they become obsolete.
Oh, yes.
This energy can help heal. It can help bring enough food for everyone in the world. It can get rid of social economic disparities, where we don't have unequal economics between different groups. It can resolve all of this stuff at one time, and they don't want that because they are the powerful and they want to remain the powerful.
So if you think about this and you think, okay, we've come through many, many years of being kind of an oil dependent society, right? Yeah. Making money off of, oil-based products, oil-based run cars, gasoline, fuel. So many things need oil to make in production.
Yes.
And if we move away from that, there's a loss of money, like you said, if we go to other types of technologies. However, this is interesting timing, because I believe that now with the BRIC nations trying to trade oil in something other than the dollar,
right? Yeah,
that's going to free up a lot of openings for new technology to make us kind of turn and pivot and go into a new direction, so we're not dependent on that anymore.
Right.
For wealth, businesses won't be able to.
Well,
we're still going to have to use it, right? But maybe not to the extent.
Not to the extent. And the new technology Stephen Greer is suggesting will wipe out war, because we'll no longer be fighting over resources, which is what drives a lot of the wars. So it's not all the wars, but a big part of the wars. So it's all of it's super fascinating. Yeah. And then the last thing I'll say about the Lost Century is that this part was really trippy. They were talking about how spaceships, how they move, and basically they said that it's just like fucking Star Trek. When they go into the transporter and they dissolve and then
they're warping space.
Well, no, their molecules disorganize.
Oh.
they move to wherever they're going and then they reorganize. And that's kind of, I believe, what they said the spaceships do. To move
like on the holodeck.
From dimension to dimension to dimension. So when they come into our dimension, they manifest their molecules into our dimension, which is why you can look in the sky, not see anything, and a second later, there it is. It's weird. So basically, that suggests that the Star Trek concept is actually something that would happen if we can figure out how to do that. So the other thing Stephen Greer is trying to get off the ground is he's trying to start an energy lab, multiple labs all over the world that are constantly being videotaped for transparency. Everything that they take from the research of the back engineering of all this technology immediately put online. So no one can make any money off of it. He goes, this will reverse environmental damage that we're doing to the planet. It's going to help bring us free energy for everybody. It's going to get rid of any poverty or food scarcity. And it needs to be done on camera, so there's full transparency, and anything that's discovered is immediately put online so that everyone has access to it.
How does he say it's going to stop food scarcity?
Because they'll be able to take this energy and grow food anywhere for anyone and clean water for anybody that needs it effortlessly. You should watch the movie. It's super interesting.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And then I will say one last thing. I do know that the House of Representatives are going to hold a hearing.
Yeah, that's right.
On the whistleblowers, UFO,
David Grush, right.
Claims. And that, I'm trying to figure out when that is. Do you know?
I don't know when it's coming, but I will be watching it because that will be very interesting. And here's the thing. They've had a lot of investigations over the years into the UFO stuff, and it never goes anywhere. Because they have a bunch of Pentagon people who show up and go, nope, it's not true. Oh, it's not? Okay, well, thank you for your time, sir. Sorry to bother you. And then that's it. This has to be a bigger push. And Stephen Greer is like, the people have to demand the answers. We have to expose them. I personally think if your back is to the wall, you're one of these people who does not want to release the power of this. That you, and this is, I think, the theory, is that they will use it to their technology to attack the people. They're going to make it look like aliens are attacking us, and it's not. It's them.
Oh.
And that's the false flag.
Shazam. That's like the Blue Beam project.
Yeah,
thing.
That's the false flag event where they say it's going to look like aliens are attacking, but really it's going to be our government posing in these ships they've back engineered who are attacking, trying to put us all in an authoritarian like state out of fear because of what they're doing. So I think that will be the point where either we are saved by the actual aliens, or I don't know what, but I think we're building up to something, or it feels that way to me.
Well, I hope that we can figure this out, what's true and what's not true before that happens.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Astro updates now, or do you want to do the tarot first?
Go ahead and do your Astro updates, and then we'll do our horoscopes for each sign with tarot to see how the alien invasion will affect your life.
I'm trying to figure out what date this episode will drop anyway. I think it's
next week.
June.
It should be June 20.
June 20. All right.
Next Tuesday.
Cancer. Happy birthday.
Yay.
June 21st through July 21st. I love my cancers. Big shout out to you. Holly, most of my family members are Cancer.
I know.
But I do have to make a public apology to my sister, who I assume never listens to our podcast, but I just want to say I assume she was a Cancer too. But according to the actual dates of Gemini versus Cancer, guess what? She's a Gemini.
When's her birthday?
Yay, I know a Gemini. June 15th.
June 15th. Okay.
Oh shit, I got to get a card out. June 13th.
Yeah.
Well, this makes total sense to me. I can confirm when I was younger, she did have an evil twin.
Okay.
Just kidding. Happy summer solstice also for us in the northern hemisphere.
Yay.
And for all the rest of y'all, happy winter solstice. We are halfway through 2023 and our longest day of the year is upon us here in the land of the north. I think it is on the 21st. Summer solstice starts then.
Okay.
It's a magical time, and my husband's birthday is on that date.
Oh,
I think
that's cool.
And
he's a solstice baby.
He's super magical.
Yes, he is.
Cancer, we have to talk about your fabulous astrology trends for this month. I think many of you will be traveling. Hooray.
Hooray.
Some may be wanting to change everything in their lives, including their names, and head for remote areas of the world. But you don't have to do that, dear Cancer. All you really need is some good rest, a break from stress, and a toxic work schedule, or just toxic people. You're wanting to redefine your life purpose, and that urge is due to planet Jupiter now transiting your North Node in Taurus on June 1st. And this North Node helps you go towards your life calling. Just don't be too extreme about the steps you take, because it could be a difficult transition if you don't make these changes gradually.
Mm-hmm.
If you're tempted to say F it, rip off the Band-Aid, that's because your sign is ruled by the moon. So it always affects your emotions more than the other signs. The full moon, which we talked about, happened on June 3rd.
Okay.
And this illuminated an important issue for you. The effect probably stirred a big emotional response, but will benefit you once you have a clear head. And besides the summer solstice week, there's a very special day for all Cancers on June 30th. You could be very lucky or just get a very psychic download about something very meaningful delivered to you in an unusual manner. I just hope it isn't a bird pooping on your head, even though that is auspicious news for a pregnancy.
Oh.
Do you know that's how I knew 30 years ago that I was pregnant?
A bird pooped on you?
Yeah, I was standing in line waiting for a ride at Universal Studios, California, and a bird pooped on my head. And the next thing I know, I'm going to be a mother.
Whoa. Okay.
And I'm saying that because my daughter's turning 30 this month.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday also, Cancer baby.
Yes.
Some of you Cancerians have been waiting and waiting for career opportunities to appear, and that is likely to manifest when Saturn is in Pisces towards the end of the month. You might get a little extra money to help a depleted bank account. So this month overall is very positive for you, and your year ahead is bright. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion and giver of abundance, is in your 11th house, and it's staying there for a full 12 months. So the 11th house will bring you more social engagements, more income, new friends, possibly additions to your family. So watch out for bird pooping, and you will feel freer from burdens and get a boost of help from your family, friends, networking, and coworkers. And because your North Node is also activated this month, you might find your personal values or belief systems are shifting based on these new contacts or interactions. So Cancer, you need to take some time just to care about yourself. Don't feel guilty about indulging just a little. Overall, your family and relationships will be getting a beneficial boost, and you will feel the start of your solar year getting kicked off big and bold. Happy birthday, Cancer. You deserve the best birthday wishes.
Happy birthday, Cancer.
Yeah. Now, before I talk about the end of the month astrology trends and aspects affecting everyone, I did want to give a background on summer solstice.
Okay.
And what astrologists sometimes call the magical week.
Okay.
In the past, it was believed in some cultures that the week surrounding summer solstice would open a portal or doorway for evil spirits to cross over into our world.
Oh, great.
Kind of like Halloween, right?
Mm.
To prevent that from happening, beautiful flowers and special herbs were woven into wreaths and worn on the head or fixed upon household doors and entryways. So they really thought it was a portal, to the great beyond. So maybe that's how the aliens are going to get in.
Maybe.
Right on the 21st.
Maybe.
I think they're already here, though. Scandinavia still practices the art of making these garlands for the celebration of summer solstice, and also bonfires are made during the summer solstice because the smoke is thought to banish any harmful spirits. Nowadays, I just think it's tradition because, who doesn't love dancing around a bonfire into the wee hours of the night?
Maybe we should move to Halloween to June 21st.
Yeah, are they still talking about moving that date?
I think they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. Old folklore states that saving ashes left over from the bonfire will offer protection from any misfortune. And if you spread some of the ashes into your garden, it can bring magical growth to your veggies and other plants.
Cool.
It is considered the most powerful time to make your cherished wishes and manifestations come true. Many singles would put flowers under their pillow and dream about their future spouse. If you've given up on a forgotten dream of the past, the summer solstice is so powerful that with just a bit of extra effort, focusing on positive affirmations or mantras and doing work towards that dream could make the impossible. In the tarot deck, I like to think of it as the star card, bringing about wishes come true. Or aliens, because Holly uses the star card for the aliens.
Aliens.
Okay, now let's talk about the astrology aspects for everyone. The Sun and Mercury, and this is happening last half of June, move into the sign of Cancer on the 26th, which is called a Kazemi. What is a Kazemi, Holly?
What is a Kazemi, Carol?
Oh, thanks for asking. The Kazemi is an A Kazemi is an astrological term dating back to medieval times to refer to planets that appear in such close proximity with the sun, they're said to be in the heart, quote unquote, of the sun. In Western astrology, it is thought that the closer planets are conjunct the sun, the weaker they become, unable to exert their influence because of the sun's overpowering light. But a Kazemi is an exception to that rule when any planet is within 0 to 1 degrees of a conjunction with the sun and is considered in the heart, which will then create hope and wonderful outcomes. So a Kazemi with Mercury in Cancer will bring about inspiration. And many of us could receive some very positive news due to the sun's energy. There will be an awakening to new approaches in dealing with people within our closest relationships. We'll find out our uncles and aunts are all aliens.
What?
You're an alien? You're a hybrid?
I knew a couple of them were. I didn't know all of them were.
All uncles are. So expect heartfelt conversations and a passion for creating a nurturing living space and revitalizing aspects of your home, because that also can be an aspect of that. Now, Saturn is retrograde in Pisces starting on the 17th of June and will be there until November of this year. It is possible with all signs, but especially you Cancerians, that your biggest wish or something you've worked so hard on achieving but lost all hope in having will come back around to you, and this time it could really work out. Something you've always wanted is going to be made possible for you. Be prepared for a lot of insight. Saturn does give us gifts sometimes too, unlike, we just think of it coming from Jupiter, but the rewards always require hard work. So those people who have acted with integrity and hard work will get that gift. Now, Aries, this gift might affect your home or living situation. Taurus, this gift might come in the form of collaboration, commitments, and contracts.
Oh.
Gemini, this gift could be a boost in income or a higher salary. Cancer, we've talked about you, but this gift could come with personal identity, life legacy, and your most cherished desires and hopes and wishes. Leo, this gift is about healing past issues where you felt unresolved matters. Could involve old matters of the heart, old goals, aspirations being renewed. And Virgo, this gift will be tied to your travels. You need to find more adventure and also setting higher goals for yourself. You got tired, but this gift will help you be inspired again. Libra, this gift is tied to your career. Expect a promotion or way to sustain yourself financially. Some of you will also find yourself working part-time, side job or hobby. Scorpio, you're getting a boost regarding your spiritual values, life purpose, and personal happiness. Sagittarius.
Yeah.
I know you were waiting. This gift will be boosting an area of shared resources and income.
Yay.
Woohoo. I love shared resources.
I like income.
Hint, hint, hubby. Capricorn. Many will find a gift with greater commitment in partnerships, best friendships, and successful contracts. Aquarius. You will get a boost or gift to your reputation and professional role or financial security. And Pisces, some of you will be getting the gift of parenthood and others more romance in your life. So with all of this happening, I would suggest that you also check your rising sign, because some people say your rising sign is even more accurate than your sun sign, which really, the sun sign really just refers to your personality, what you show the world.
What's my rising sign?
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably Taurus rising.
I don't think so.
Probably Virgo. I don't know. You're in your head a lot, so maybe Aquarius. Good news. Holly, you're cerebral.
I'm an ascendant Aquarius,
Woo-hoo.
whatever that means. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, now we'll be back with some horoscopes. Letting you know how you're going to be able to handle the alien invasion.
Yes.
Is that correct?
How will the alien invasion affect your zodiac sign?
Okay.
We want to know.
Right, we'll be right back. All right, Carol, what deck are you using?
Thank you. I am using the Dark Wood Tarot, one of my favorites, by Sasha Graham, and art by Abigail Larson.
Excellent. And what did you get for Aries?
Aries, I got the Page of Swords. You dynamite warrior, you.
Nice.
You're going to be on the front lines.
Okay.
Of this. I think you're going to be like in combat mode.
Okay.
You're prepared. I think you're going to be prepared and you're ready to fight, because I don't think you're going to feel very friendly towards them for some reason.
Well, Aries are
fighters
type.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're the warrior of the zodiac.
And my card, this shows a girl with a sword, and guess what's up right above her head? A bird in a bird nest in a tree.
What does that mean?
You might get pooped on.
Oh, you might get pregnant by the aliens.
You might get pregnant. Yes.
Oh shit, that's not good.
I hate the symbology right now.
God,
I'm seeing.
Right,
okay, what did you get?
Okay, I got the Hangman. Now I'm gonna give you guys a couple different interpretations for this. Either Aries, because you are usually the leader and you like things the way you like things. And you like to be in control of a situation. The alien thing is not something you can control. So either you're going to put your head in the sand. It's not happening. I'm just going to look away. I'm going to continue with my life. Blah, 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 blah. I cannot control this, but I can control this over here. I'm going to focus on what I can control. Or the other way I might interpret this is, anyone that's suspicious, I'm going to tie up in a tree.
Yes, that's more Aries personality.
Motherfucker is going down.
I think that's the second
might be the second interpretation might be the correct one, because we all know Aries are fighters. So it could be, I'm suspicious of everyone around me who is a mandroid and who's an actual human. I don't like my neighbor, and I think they might be an alien disguised as a human. That could be it.
Okay, Aries.
Okay.
Don't overreact out
there.
Don't overreact. And tell everyone what tarot deck you're using.
I'm sorry. I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake with art by Elizabeth Alba.
Okay. Now, Taurus, you're up next. I drew the Temperance card, which is a major arcana. And that tells me you're actually just maintaining status quo here. Everything's in balance. So I think you're going to be one of those people that just gets up. You hear that the aliens are invading, and you decide you're just going to go to work.
It sounds like a Taurus.
You're just going to go get that paycheck.
Yep.
You just hit the clock and pretend everything's all good.
That sounds very Taurus-y.
Yes.
Yes. I got the 10 of Pentacles. I think you're going to invite your friends over and your family, and you're going to hunker down and spend as much time with your family that you believe you have left.
It's the 10 of Pentacles?
Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. So there you go.
And lots of money to count.
Spend your money now.
Spend your money
you
now.
never know if you're going to have it tomorrow or if you're going to
right.
be alive to spend it. So,
all right.
And Gemini.
Gemini, I drew the Queen of Swords, which this is a real big communicator card. And so I see the symbology of you're in the mountains. You're going to be in some extreme situation when the aliens invade. You're either going to be away from your home, out on the beach, in the mountains, but you're going to have no way to communicate because the Queen of Swords, you know, you're going to try and communicate in other ways, but your cell phone won't work. So
Gemini, don't listen to Carol.
You're
going drinking. I got the 3 of Cups.
Karen, if you're listening, save yourself.
You're going drinking. The 3 of Cups shows you're getting together with your friends. You're getting drunk. You're like, might as well. This is our last days. Let's drink, ladies or men, whatever. Just go out and drink. Just go out and have a good time.
What card did you get?
3 Cups.
Oh, yes.
So like 4 times.
Let's have
3 of Cups.
Have an affair.
Yeah, just
be
go
hedonistic.
Out, have lots of sex, lots of drinking, lots of debauchery. It's your last chance. Okay.
I think that sounds like Gemini.
Okay, we'll be right back with Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Hold on. All right, so we're back. Carol, what'd you get for Cancer?
Oh, Cancer. You're pregnant when the aliens show up. I know I'm saying that with everyone because this lady, she's the Empress. That's what I drew for you. She's pregnant. But it also means that you're indulging in luxuries when, this
You should be.
happens.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be probably, pampering yourself and just being like, I got to look my very best when the aliens arrive.
Yep. That's true. I got the world.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Cancer, you're going to be like, fuck it. I'm going to take that trip I've always wanted to take. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to get my bucket list out and I'm going to just start working through things on my list because I want to do all the things I can do. Not that, the end of the world is coming, but in this situation, nobody knows what to expect. So I see you letting all your cares go and just having the best time you can possibly have.
Go Cancer.
Go Cancer.
It's your birthday after all.
Leo.
I got the 4 of Swords for you, so I think you're going to just faint. I mean, I think you just won't be able to handle it. And that's totally not typical for you, Leo. You are a king. You are the master of the jungle. But yeah, you're going to faint. It shows a woman stretched out on a bed and this creepy prince dude is trying to revive her. She looks like Sleeping Beauty, but she's also holding a sword. So, you'll be thinking that you're going to fight, but you faint.
I got the 2 of Pentacles. So, and in this card, the witch person is looking at the 2 Pentacles up in the sky. So I think, Leo, we all know you're the performer and you like the attention.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to be looking up at these UFOs thinking, those motherfuckers stole my thunder. How do I get the attention back on me? This is bullshit. Maybe you'll even try to communicate with them or something, but there's something where you're looking up there going, how is this going to work out now? They're getting all the attention and I want the lion's share, as we know as Leo, lion's share of the attention. I want it back.
That actually might be a good interpretation that they're faking sleeping or something.
Right.
Because that person that in my card is sleeping, she's got a knife ready to attack when they least suspect it.
Right. True.
Okay. I'm sorry I said that you would be fainting.
Virgo.
I got the Knight of Pentacles for you. So you're going to be engaging in some sort of financial bribe with the aliens.
Oh, yeah. That's
You're like,
Virgo.
Would you take me with you? I'll trade you my stereo system. It's a Bose.
That actually is pretty funny. I got the 10 of Wands. And before I heard your interpretation of your card, I was like, oh, they're going to be anxiety ridden over this. This is going to freak them out. But in my card, the person is carrying a bunch of brooms up a hill.
Oh, yeah.
So these might be bartering tools to go up the hill to meet the aliens and go, hey, look at all the stuff I've got. The Bose stereo system.
Yeah.
Hey, what can we do to negotiate? Perhaps.
That's right.
You're right about that.
I think so. I mean, it's a burden to get rid of your stuff, but, if it can take you somewhere off planet.
If you can talk to aliens about this, how cool would that be?
And brooms are always, high merchandise.
For sure. Okay. We'll be right back with Libra, Scorpio, and my favorite, Sagittarius.
Oh, Libra. Yes, I drew the 7 of Cups. So this tells me when the alien invasion happens, you're going to really just be at your element because you'll feel that you're on a vision quest when this is happening. You're looking into the sky, looking at all the options available to you with so many different paths to choose. Do you communicate? Do you go with them? So many choices, and you're fine with all of it because for you, it's just another major hallucination that you're going to wake up from in 10 minutes.
So you're going to do a lot of LSD is what you're saying?
I think you're just going to think you've done that. Something you've had was laced with LSD is what I think.
That actually correlates with my card. I got the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Shows a bunch of ladies, one of them pregnant, dancing in the sunflowers.
Everybody's pregnant.
Everyone's pregnant. I think you're going to be super happy, either because you're high from the subtropic hallucinogens you've smoked, or you're going to be happy because you'll see this as an opportunity to bring a great equalizer to all the social injustices of the world that you fight so hard for. Or against, I should say. Not for, but against.
Stop doing those drugs. You don't know who you're fighting for or against.
That's right. All right. What'd you get for Scorpio?
Scorpio, I got the Hermit card for you, which is exactly what I would think you'd be doing. Hiding away in your secret cave or your hidden passageway in your house. Just If they can't hear me, they can't find me.
Well, I got a kind of a different card for Scorpio. I got the Judgment card. And in my card, the woman is skipping along and she's playing a flute or a horn. I think this tells me that you're going to be touting your own horn going, I told you guys this was all true. I told you never listened to me. And because you're a water sign and you're more kind of on the psychic realm of things, I think that you're going to be a believer in this and you're going to be like, see. And you're going to make sure everyone knows that you knew from the beginning this was all true. And Sagittarius, what'd you get?
I got the 2 of Wands. So to me, that's somebody, the witch is holding a crystal ball and she's ready to do magic. So I think she thinks that she can, put spells on her house and ward away the aliens with protection.
Okay. Well, I got the 9 of Wands, which tells me that Sagittarius, you're not going to take this so well. You're going to be a little bit unsure of what to believe. You're going to kind of exhaust yourself over what to think. What's going to happen is you're going to pay way too much attention to the news, like I already do, and you're going to just get sucked in, and you're going to be like, well, what about this? And what about that? And oh my gosh, and the anxiety is going to start to build. I already know that's true because I know me as a Sagittarius, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I'm just going to project that onto all Sagittariuses.
Sagittarius, don't be scared. Be prepared.
That's right. All right. We'll be right back with the last 3, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces.
Capricorn. I got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. And normally Ace of Pentacles means you're beginning a new job or something like that. But instead, with it reversed, it's really refusing to acknowledge the signs and omens and taking what you have for granted. So I think you know what you need to do when the aliens arrive, and you're just refusing to do what you need to do. And that is something to do with a new beginning. So I think you'll be embarking on a new path financially, doing something. You could be even online trading stocks at the time that it happens.
Yeah.
And you should have paid attention that this was coming, but you didn't. What did you get?
Now you're screwed, Capricorn.
You're screwed.
I got the 3 of Wands, which I think goes kind of with what you said. You're watching all of this, but you're taking no action. You're just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
So you're really just kind of resting on your haunches and going, this is interesting.
Yeah. What'd you get for the next sign?
For Aquarius, I got the 6 of Pentacles, and I just think that means you're just giving away all your stuff. Here, you take this, you take that. And I think it's really about building up your karma points.
Yeah.
Rich men can't get into heaven, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to give everything away so I look really good to everybody.
That is so funny. That's your interpretation, because I got the 10 of Pentacles and my first gut reaction was, these people are going to sign away their life inheritance to somebody and just leave it all to the pets or the cockroaches that are going to survive, whatever.
Funny. Yeah.
But then my second interpretation is that for those that might not be acting in their higher good intentions or thoughts, could be robbing a bank at this time, because I think the opportunity could prevent itself. I mean, could be a good opportunity while everybody's distracted by aliens. You could be robbing a bank and getting away with it.
That's
so
right.
There is that.
And for Pisces, what'd you get?
Now, Pisces, this is unusual. I also drew the Page of Swords for you. So it looks like you will be fighting and defending your place.
Interesting.
It does show you with a sword and getting ready to fight, and you are prepared.
And I, Pisces, got the exact opposite. I got the 2 of Swords, which means don't bother me. I don't want to deal with this at all.
Yeah, maybe
you're alone.
Maybe you're not communicating how you feel, and you change your mind at the last minute.
Yeah, I think you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend like everything's cool, and I'm gonna move on with my life. Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear what everybody thinks.
Yes, for sure. So please let us know how you feel about the aliens coming and
how you're going to prepare or not prepare.
What you're going to do. Yeah, that's it for us. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
And in the trial of discovering it, you end up blowing yourself up.
Well, maybe they did a couple times. You don't know.
Which explains why they're green now.
Right.
That's
why they've got that weird reptilian skin.
And that's why they kill everybody when they touch them, because
what happened to our skin and our
with
hair?
Radiation. Wait, did you hear that spiders or not spiders, I'm sorry. I don't know this.
Good. Don't talk spiders.
Cockroaches are something, or grasshoppers are the only creatures that can live through
nuclear
radiation.
War. Cockroaches.
Is it cockroaches or grasshoppers?
No, it's cockroaches. I've heard that too.
Okay, we better not get the buzzer on us.
No,
Josh,
it's cockroaches. I'm pretty sure.
As the flames die down, do remain undaunted.
Though all hitchhikers are ghosts,
and all dolls are definitely haunted.
Hey guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Our handle is @FiresidePhantoms. If you have a spooky story you would like to share with us, send it to firesidephantoms@gmail.com and you may hear it on a future episode.